It's time to tackle a question that's been dividing homes since the dawn of time: Apple versus Android. Here at Privacy Guides, our official recommendation for a phone is a Google Pixel, ideally running GrapheneOS. However, that doesn't mean you can't still get some pretty great privacy and security on iPhone. You'll just have to take a few extra steps to set it up. Let's start at the top. The quickest and easiest way for most people to make massive improvements to their phone is simply to remove apps. Most of us have apps that we haven't used in a long time, or that we needed once and haven't used since then, or sometimes we can just use a website instead of an app. Apps present two main risks to your privacy and security. On the security front, every app is a potential data breach or a vulnerability waiting to happen. Every app you have an account with could potentially get caught up in a data breach someday. Even just having the app on your phone could potentially introduce a new way to get hacked. On the privacy front, most apps submit all kinds of data back to not just the app developers, but usually third parties and advertisers. This could include location data, contact information, or sometimes even more sensitive data within the app. Think, for example, what data your health apps might have stored in them. The single, quickest, and easiest way you can make huge privacy gains on your phone is to simply sit down, look through all the apps you have installed, and ask yourself, how badly do I really need this app? If you rarely use the app, delete it. If you can use a website instead of the app, delete it. This alone is a huge step, and it might have other peripheral benefits, like you might save money by adding friction to your online shopping, or you might have better mental health from not doom scrolling all the time. Another often overlooked way you can improve your phone's safety is simply to remove the data that's stored on it. Think about all the photos in your camera roll that you just wanted to share for a moment, or contacts that you've honestly lost touch with and don't talk to anymore. This is probably not as important as removing unused apps, but since you're already cleaning up your phone, you may as well take some time to go through and clean out the content as well. So go through your phone and remove any old photos, contacts, files, and really just anything that you don't need or regularly use. Finally, you'd be surprised how much privacy and security you can regain simply by going through your phone and changing some of the settings. There's a lot of settings that can be adjusted for maximum privacy and security, but for the sake of time, we're just going to highlight a few of the top ones. Please note that your settings may be slightly different depending on which iPhone and version of iOS you're using. To start with, we do not recommend using iCloud. We think that there are other services that can protect your data better, and we'll talk about those in the next video. But if you insist on using iCloud, we strongly recommend enabling the Advanced Data Protection feature, which will end-to-end encrypt most of your iCloud data. Be aware that your iCloud mail, contacts, and calendars will not be encrypted with Advanced Data Protection. Also, if you lose your password without having set up the recommended recovery methods, you won't be able to recover the data. We also recommend disabling personalized recommendations under media and purchases. Next, we recommend disabling Find My. The exception here is to enable stolen device protections or to remotely wipe your phone. Whenever you're on Wi-Fi, we suggest enabling airplane mode so that your phone doesn't contact cell towers. You can still enable Wi-Fi and Bluetooth while in airplane mode, so you can still receive calls and use your phone like normal. Next, check your Wi-Fi networks to ensure that private Wi-Fi address is set to rotating. You can also enable limit IP address tracking, but be aware that this will require submitting some data back to Apple to check for known malicious domains. We recommend disabling Bluetooth whenever you're not using it, as Bluetooth is often used to track phones in places like stores. Be sure to do this in the actual settings and not the control panel so that it doesn't come back on the next day. Make sure you have automatic updates enabled to ensure that you are receiving critical security updates as soon as possible. We recommend disabling both AirDrop and AirPlay whenever you're not using them. Background app refresh allows apps to fetch new content even when you're not using them. In some cases, you may not want your apps making connections all the time like this, and this can also improve your battery life. So be sure to check this screen and disable any apps that you don't want making automatic background connections like this. We do not recommend the use of Siri. Siri recordings are sometimes analyzed by humans and have been known to be triggered by accident, meaning they might record things you never meant to send to the cloud. You should also ensure that you're using, at bare minimum, a 6-digit PIN. A strong password or passphrase is ideal. Using Face ID or Touch ID along with a strong password can be a really good compromise between security and convenience, but be aware that these have been bypassed by bad actors in the past to get unauthorized access to someone's phone. We recommend enabling stolen device protection. We recommend disabling as many items as possible under Allow Access when locked. Keep in mind that these are things that someone can access without needing to unlock your phone, so make your choices from that perspective. We also recommend enabling the Erase Data setting so that anyone trying to guess your PIN will erase the phone. Make sure you do your research before enabling this setting. We recommend disabling location services on any apps that don't require it, but also specifically for Apple system services like iPhone Analytics, Maps Routing and Traffic, and Improved Maps. We strongly recommend enabling app tracking transparency and blocking all apps from requesting to track you. While some companies have found workarounds to get around this, studies have suggested that overall it's been quite effective in dramatically reducing the amount of tracking apps can do about you. You can also turn off sensor and usage data collection if you don't plan to participate in any studies. In the privacy and security section, you can disable analytics as well as personalized ads in Apple advertising, in addition to several other analytics. Likewise, you can turn off personalized ads here too. Finally, for the apps you did keep on your phone, be sure to go to privacy and security and carefully check each app's permissions. Revoke any permissions you think the app doesn't need access to. For example, why would a calendar app need access to your microphone? Things like that. While you're here, we recommend enabling the app privacy report so that you can keep an eye on which apps request access to things like your camera or your microphone and how often they request that. That way you can see if you missed any permissions, or you can keep an eye out for any suspicious activity. If you really want to go the extra mile, you can enable lockdown mode. But we're going to talk about that a lot more in the last video. I just want to remind viewers that this video is a snapshot in time. Some of this stuff may have been updated or changed if you're watching it in the future, so be sure to check privacyguides.org for the latest recommended settings changes on your phone. There's still a lot more you can do to make your phone more private and secure, but honestly, if you only do this stuff in this video, you've already made dramatic improvements that put you miles ahead of most people. Make some time in your schedule to go ahead and clean out your phone and change the settings, and when you're ready to take the next steps, we'll see you in the next video.